the young adult population, there's so much going on in their lives. Finishing up school, new jobs, new relationships, boyfriend, girlfriends, all these things are happening. And it's like, oh my gosh, I have diabetes on top of it. Diabetes technology has made diabetes management a whole new world, essentially, and has really impacted the quality of lives in a positive way for our patients.
One of my biggest fears going into the different wearables, whether it be the CGM or the insulin pump, was the insertion device. Because I would never say that I was necessarily afraid of needles, but I mean, no one wants to stab themselves with something that's going to hurt every time you put it in.
I didn't want to add anything else to my diabetes management because it was a lot already. My fear was more work. At that point, I was like, I don't want to wear something else.
I used the CGM first. I didn't really trust it at first. I was like, does this thing actually accurately check my blood sugar the way it needs to? I think there was a lot of fear of change of the way I managed it.
I think a fear that's very normal for human beings is loss of control. And with diabetes technology, there is a part of us that needs to give up control. And that's what's so special about it. Being able to focus on your life and not be touching your devices all the time or overly thinking about it. But giving that control up initially is not easy.
We want the diabetes technology to really work for you and work for your body. I think the only way is for you to try it.
There's a ramp up period, but overall, it's you have brand new glasses and you're able to see something that you haven't been able to see before.
I don't have to wake up and deal with lows or highs too often. And I can see what my patterns are and then learn how to adjust with that and learn how to make some decisions whenever I need to course correct.
I was worried if I'm a side sleeper and I like to wear my stuff on my arm. So if I'm laying on it, is it gonna compress my arm? Is it gonna feel weird? Am I not gonna be able to sleep?
I use DIY Loop and I have full trust in the system. I've maybe only had 2 little problems over 2 years, but everyone has problems with their pumps. So, that's not any concern. And there's also so many resources out there to get your troubleshooting done. You could just go on and on scrolling through these apps and learning about these devices, the pros, the cons, what's available on the market.
The diabetes technology, it does take away that added stress of managing diabetes around the clock. It's a lot easier to just plug something into a device to give yourself a bolus rather than, having to clean a site, take out your insulin pen and give yourself an injection in the school setting and the work setting, or, on the bus, wherever you are. It does take away that extra burden. For patients who have a needle phobia, actually being on an insulin pump and a continuous glucose monitor really can help because you're limiting the amount of times you need to actually use a Lancet to check your blood sugars, as well as limiting the number of times you need to give yourself an insulin injection using an insulin pen with a needle.
If you get a pump, if you get a sensor, the police are not going to come to your house and take away your glucometer and your insulin and your insulin pens and things like that. So they're still there, but you give yourself the option to try it.
Reaching out to your community. I always tell my friends, my provider is not listening to me or not doing what I need to do.
Reach out to the Diabetes Link. Any of us would love to talk to you. We're here to make life easier. We want to help and be that resource for somebody who doesn't have it anyplace else.